Today on Pokepasta on my channel, we read the Pokepasta Ducky about a Psyduck and well, I've only heard part of it, but let's just take this into account. Psyduck isn't too evil, except from the fact that his bill looks like an Asian ghost. Take that into account, okay? And this is just the scariest photo I can find. Credit to whoever made the photo on DeviantArt. Credit to Joey. And it was on a watermelon. I thought it was just an evil Psyduck, but it's actually on a watermelon. Wow. Okay, let's get on with it. The story is about me in the game Pokemon Red and the Psyduck. Oh, by the way, I'm reading this for word. And the game Pokemon Red and the Psyduck nicknamed Ducky. Hope you enjoy. I am about 18. I live with my parents, but I have a ton of schoolwork to do on a normal day-to-day basis. I only get some free time to myself, but I only get some free time to myself, but we only have two sources of entertainment. The laptop, which my dad says is for schoolwork only, and the DS, which my little brother, who is 7, plays Pokemon Red on all the time. Probably Pokemon Fire Red, not Red. He has a Psyduck he named Ducky. I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, so I knew little about all this, but I enjoyed watching him play nonetheless. It was funny. Sometimes he would ask me what some words meant, and I would sometimes give a joke answer, and we had a great time. I barely paid attention to what was really going on in the game, but I didn't think there was much to look at. It was just a pixelated game where you fight virtual monsters, and I wasn't really into it. Plus, I thought it was too childish for my age. Nobody's too childish for Pokemon. One day, my brother got in trouble for beating up with kids in school. Right, so this little 7-year-old who nicknames his Pokemon Ducky beats up kids at his school. So believable. But it is possible. The parents blamed the game and took it away from him as punishment. I didn't really mind, but now I had nothing to do. The TV was busted, and we right. Sorry about this. And we were all too cheap to replace it. So I decided to read the news. I saw the DS right next to me with Pokemon Red inside. I thought to myself, why not try it out, and started it up. When I entered the game, I knew there was only one save file, and that was my brother's. His name on the file was Jimmy, as that was his name. I didn't want to upset him and delete his file, so I decided to play on his. I was in Lavender Town when I started. Cliche mania. Right. I pulled up the menu. I pressed Pokemon and saw only 3. The first was Ducky, the Psyduck, level 30. The second was an Arbok, nicknamed Fangy. The final was a Charmeleon, nicknamed Fireball. I thought Fireball was the most unique name, but I couldn't blame him since he was only 7. So I left Lavender Town and started down the road. I got into a Pokemon battle and was forced, as normal, to use Ducky. Ducky! It was now I realised how low Ducky's health was and attempted to switch Pokemon. So you didn't, have any potions? No? But a text box came up and said, that won't do you any good. So I pressed moves. Well, fight. Ducky only had 3 moves: water gun, punch, and bite. I assumed this was normal and decided to use water gun. Cannot be used at this time, the textbook stated. So I used bite. Ducky ran up to the other Pokemon, which was Rattata, and bit it. The Rattata had a very visual bite mark on his body, but it wasn't severe. Rattata did nothing but cower in fear and beg for mercy. Ducky then, without me saying so, ran up and bit the Rattata again. I was shocked. The Rattata's health bar was low, and the Rattata coughed blood. We get it. Coughed blood. As blood. If somebody can count how many times this says like blood, or how many cliches, that would be good. Or like if it says like gore, just comment below and I will give you a shout out in my next video. As said by the text box. Then the text box said, Ducky and Jimmy ran away. I was devastated to think of what happened to the Rattata. I shut off the game. I went upstairs to where Jimmy was and told him what had happened. Jimmy laughed and told me it didn't happen, and I was a big joker. I did kid around with him, but this time it was serious. But still, no matter what I said or do to convince him, he didn't believe me. So I gave up. After the week of his punishment of no Pokemon Red, I asked him if I could watch him play. Of course, he agreed, and we played like normal. Of course, he agreed, and we played like normal. When Jimmy played, though, it seemed normal. No dying Rattatatas, no low health. Heck, Jimmy even had healed Ducky first thing. It's like it never happened, but I wasn't convinced. I still thought something was messed up. Jimmy went to a daily soccer practice every Sunday, so I thought it was the perfect time. I replayed the strange Pokemon Red cartridge. Everything went normal. Until I got into another battle. This time it was with Pikachu. The Pikachu looked sad, depressed, tears falling from his eyes as his animation. They don't have animations in Pokemon Red! Ah, God. Ducky was sent out, and this time his moveset was different. He only had 2 moves, Water Gun and Stab. I clicked Water Gun, but the same thing happened as last time. Cannot be used at this time, so unwillingly I kicked Stab. The screen went to black and I heard a very realistic stabbing sounds. Hyper-realistic, as you were going to say, type. But you didn't want to sound too cliche. When the screen faded in, I was back in the overworld again. I shut off the game, scared. I didn't tell Jimmy because I knew he wouldn't believe me. So I told my parents, but they didn't believe me either. Well, duh, if a 7-year-old's not gonna believe you. They thought I was simply imagining things, but I wasn't. Something was wrong with that cartridge, but it only happens with me. I don't know why. I don't know when, but I replayed Pokemon Red for the final time. Turned on the DS, normal screen. I pressed Pokemon Red, normal screen, but instead of Charizard, it was Ducky. Ducky was just standing there, staring at me. Crimson blood oozing from the background. I took a picture, but the picture came up blank. Nothing was on it. That actually sounds like a good game. I would, if somebody makes a ROM hack or something of this, please tell me. So I ignored it and started to play. There was no file select, just darkness and a static sprite, as if we were a character. I moved Ducky around, but it looked like it just showed its normal walk animation. Nothing was happening until bump. You ran into question mark. I was afraid to see what I bumped into, but I pressed OK. A battle screen commenced. I was fighting Ducky. Ducky was standing there, his eyes white as snow, his skin pale and cracked. Blood everywhere. He was holding a knife. It gave me one option: plead. Oh my god. Psyduck holding a knife. This is what the textbook sequence was. Please don't do this. ... We can find another way. ... I thought we were friends. I loved you. ... You heartless. Ducky charges at Dimmy. After that, the game shut off. I didn't want to turn it back on. I put it down and went upstairs to think about what just happened. I was in total dismay. Jimmy said his file was erased completely and blames me. Now I got a freaky game with a pissed and a annoyed brother. Great, but it's not all bad. Jimmy went to play the game again, so I decided to make some money off of it. I decided to sell it on eBay for a very cheap price, and somebody thankfully bought it. I put the game and a note in an envelope to the address. The note simply read, Ducky. Well, that creepypasta was surprisingly creepy. Bit cliches here and there. Yeah, but Psyduck is a little harmless thing. Psyduck is my favorite Pokemon. I have a whole cosplay of him. And the fact that he plays Pokemon Red on a DS, he's probably got Fire Red. The thing is, just don't. The moral of this story is don't say that Psyduck is stupid. Probably. Anyways, that's the end of this video. And please comment below. And well, see you next time on Pokepastas. I might upload a second one today. Hey.